Today on Public Eye News, Marquette Mountain begins snow production and news from Mexico's southern border regarding migrant caravans.
Later in the show, Caleb Rydell will give us a look at our weather, and Grant Lukens has updates on sports from the gridiron to the hockey ice. Hi, I'm Samantha Carter.
And I'm Devon Lanier, and you're watching Public Eye News. Marquette Mountain fired up its snow guns for the first time earlier this afternoon as ideal winter conditions have finally arrived in the region. Management officials at the mountain said recent vandalism to the water system delayed snow production until now, but crews at the mountain are training with newly acquired efficient and quieter snow guns. The recent warm-up in Marquette did not help with efforts to open the mountain any earlier either. The Marquette Mountain team said they have everything they need to keep the guns running and hope to have the slopes open by this weekend. The Marquette music scene hosted the second annual Hall of Fame induction and party at the Masonic Center Saturday night. The event honored 15 people who have had a major impact on the local music scene in Marquette. Organizers said the event is a way for people to come out and enjoy the scene and to learn something about Marquette's musical history. The Marquette music scene is currently in the process of becoming a nonprofit organization in the community.
Tim Kabasic, the voice of Trails and Tales radio program on WDBC and WYKX, passed away yesterday morning. The 65-year-old Escanaba native hosted the show for 20 years. Kabasic was also a member of the Michigan Trails Council and was a member of the Escanaba City Council from 1982 to 1986. The Crawford Funeral Homes are assisting the Kabasic family, but so far funeral arrangements have not been announced. A house fire in Eagle River this morning destroyed a residence at 5518 Garden City Road. Keweenaw County Under Sheriff Kurt Penela declared the home a total loss at approximately 2:30 a.m. The Sheriff's Department, the Eloise Township Fire Department, and the Houghton Township Fire Department all responded to the scene. The house was lost, but everyone inside, including the family's dogs, were able to evacuate safely and without injury. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
The Salvation Army in Ishpeming began its toy drive campaign for the holiday season early this morning. The Ishpeming and Negaunee Rotary joined 3 other groups in kicking off the event with a toy drop. The Rotary has participated in the event for at least 10 years, but this year they had help from groups like Michael's Homes, the Negaunee Lions, and the Ishpeming girls basketball team. Many of the Hematites have also signed up for times as bell ringers. Salvation Army staff said the need is great this time of year for bell ringers, especially in the Marquette area. The Chocolate Raptor Center reported Sunday that a bald eagle has died from what they believe is lead poisoning. A local homeowner who spotted the eagle reported that the bird was lethargic and not flying away upon approach. After calling the Raptor Center, the individual managed to capture the bird, which died while being transported to Marquette. The bird is believed to have died after ingesting bullet microfragments left behind in gut piles from deer during hunting season. The eagle's remains will be sent to the DNR pathology lab in Lansing for testing to determine the cause of death. And after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Tuesday afternoon at 1 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. As tensions escalated this weekend along the southern border, Mexico is taking action regarding the Central American immigrants currently staying in Tijuana, Mexico. Mexico's National Migration Institute said that 98 immigrants are being deported after they tried to breach the U.S. border. This comes after U.S. agents fired tear gas into Mexico to stop the migrants from crossing. Mexico's Interior Department said about 500 migrants were involved in the attempt to cross the border, while U.S. authorities estimate the number to be closer to 1,000. And something we are all familiar with in the UP is snow, and usually lots of it. But what work goes into clearing the roads of their snow. We take a look at how Van Buren County Downstate takes care of their winter roads.
Bob Drake will be up before dawn on Monday morning.
We're starting our shifts earlier tomorrow than usual. Our usual shift 7 to 3:30, and we're going to start at 4 a.m. and need be we're going to run later.
A storm system heading our way has crews with the Van Buren County Road Commission ready for what may fall.
Yesterday we started some planning, and I'd rather just plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Running trucks, loading up the salt sand mix, and warming up the snow fighting equipment for all the crews.
32 of our guys in trucks and possibly calling in the subcontractors to help out also.
While getting the snow plows road ready is a major task, it's the moment the Road Commission has been waiting for.
We hit the primary road system first, which is the most traveled roads in the county, and then we go to our secondaries and then subdivisions after that.
Winter prep off to an early start, but proving to be more labor intensive amid expensive salt problems.
Yeah, it's going to be a long winter. The public doesn't realize that salt prices is almost completely doubled, so it costs us a lot more to try to maintain the roads for them safely.
General Motors will likely cut up to 14,000 jobs in North America as the manufacturer looks to restructure and cut costs to focus more on production of electric vehicles. Reductions will include about 8,000 white-collar employees, or 15% of GM's North American white-collar workforce. GM has offered buyouts to 18,000 retirement-eligible workers with a dozen or more years of service. Most of the factories to be affected by GM's restructuring build cars that won't be sold until the U.S. until after next year. And speaking of vehicles, NASA has successfully landed their Mars lander InSight. Moments after landing, InSight sent NASA an affirmative beep signaling a successful landing. Jamie Yukas has more on the preparation for NASA's big day.
After 6.5 months of space travel, InSight's big day is finally here. Years of hard work will come down to 7 crucial minutes.
It's called the 7 minutes of terror because everything has to go perfectly in the 7 minutes from the top of the atmosphere down to landing.
The spacecraft will enter Mars's atmosphere at more than 12,000 miles per hour, heating the vessel's shields to some 2,700 degrees. It will slow to less than 300 miles per hour once the parachute is deployed. Then it will release its heat shield. 3 legs will pop out, and small rockets will slow the spacecraft to about 3 miles per hour before it lands.
So we can't control the vehicle from Earth. We can't use a joystick to land. The computer on board the spacecraft has to do everything perfectly to get it to the surface.
Over the coming months, the lander's robotic arm will deploy one device to monitor seismic activity and another to dig 16 feet below the planet's surface to measure Mars's internal temperature.
We have lots of missions that have looked at the outside, but one of the big unknowns is what does the inside look like? Whether the core is solid or liquid. Those types of questions are really important for understanding how the planet, what it looked like when it first formed and how it got to be where it is today.
Because Mars and Earth were created from the same materials billions of years ago, scientists say studying Mars's interior could help them understand how Earth was formed and later evolved. The mission will also allow them to learn more about the safest way to enter Mars's atmosphere and land, to prepare for the next big step in exploring the planet.
The better we understand that environment at Mars, what Mars is like and how we can land, we'll be better prepared to send humans to Mars in the future.
One of the lander's first jobs will be to take a picture of the planet's surface and beam it back here to Earth. It will then be very busy over the next Martian year, which for us is November of 2020. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Pasadena, California.
And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
What made these Antiques Roadshow fans so happy?
I've seen thousands of Babe Ruth baseballs, and this one on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 10.
Wow. Holy cannoli. Really?
Good find.
Tell me more.
Don't miss these amazing moments and more from Charleston, West Virginia, next time on Antiques Roadshow.
2 episodes starting tonight at 8 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. I'm Caleb Rydell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me on the NMU campus, we got a bit of snow out there, but it's not sticking around too good on that grass. We did have rain a couple days ago, and but that snow looks like it's coming back, and it might be here to stay this time. Right now we got snow out there with a temperature of 23 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 29.91 inches and falling. Tonight we're going to see a low of 20, and winds are not going to change that much, just going down 1. And then tomorrow we are going to see that we have, again, some snow, high of 24, and then winds going to be right back up to that northwest at 15 miles per hour. Taking a look across the UP, we're going to see the only place we have snow is up in Marquette right now. We're going to start up over in Sault Ste. Marie with 27 degrees, 26 in Manistee, Escanaba with 25, and down in Menominee, 27. Take a look at the western half of the UP. We're seeing Iron Mountain with 23, Ironwood with 18, up at Keweenaw, Houghton with 24, and back here in Marquette, that 23 degrees and snow out there. Let's take a look at your week ahead. On Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 30 with a low of 22 and some clouds out there. Thursday, a high of 32 and a low of 27 and some snow. Friday, we are not going to get rid of that snow. We're going to keep it coming with a high of 35 and a low of 26. Well, Grant, we are really getting beat by this snow, and I hear the Vikings had a similar story.
That's right. The Green Bay Packers took on the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night. The Vikings ended up beating the Packers 24-14. The Vikings picked up Kirk Cousins from the Redskins with a 3-year, $84 million contract. Many fans worried that the contract was too much, but Cousins ended up showing people that he's great by outperforming Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night. Currently, the Packers and the Browns have the same record for this season. The NMU men's hockey team fought the Lake Superior State University hockey team to a series split after a 2-1 win of Saturday evening. Unlike Friday's game, the Wildcats immediately scored right in the first round. The second round was a slower affair with no team scoring for the entire round. Both teams scored a point in the third round after 18 minutes, with the Wildcats scoring an empty net goal. The Wildcats head to Indiana this week for a game against the University of Notre Dame. The Jacksonville Jaguars have fired their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. The firing comes after the Jaguars' 7th consecutive loss this season. Head coach Doug Marin made the decision after giving Hackett many signs of the impending firing, like making Hackett move to the sidelines to better call plays. No one has been put in Hackett's place as of today. Well, there's some interesting stuff going on in the sports world, but I hear you have some more interesting stories for us.
Definitely lots of Thanksgiving-related stories. A Vermont couple had quite the exciting Thanksgiving this year. While most of us search for the perfect turkey at the grocery store, this couple was searching flocks of live turkeys after losing their family pet peacock. The peacock's owners believe the bird was lonely and was looking for companions. The exotic bird is still on the loose. And in another surprising story from this weekend, a North Carolina patrol officer pulled over a couple for speeding on Saturday. The officer was shocked to find the couple in the van were heading to the hospital to have their first child. The officer had to help deliver the baby on the side of the road. Although it was a scary experience, both mom and baby are doing well. But that's all the time we have for you here today at Public Eye News. Tune in again tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.